Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's up?
Just hanging around.
Hey, I'm Tommy Pham, and I'm a filmmaker in Winnipeg. Welcome to my studio.
All right. My name is Wrkshop. I'm a film photographer, and welcome to Digital Wrkshop.
I am a filmmaker, and I run Digital Wrkshop. Digital Wrkshop is a video production company based in Winnipeg. We specialize in music videos, commercials, and also graphic design work, photography, you name it, we do it.
I'm a film photographer and a bit of a, interview host. So, throw me a mic and let's ask you a couple questions.
But when I was younger, my family always had cameras around. I loved the art of being able to record something that already happened and being able to rewatch it.
About a year and a half ago, I had this, this old cat. He was my dog, and I just kind of knew, the time was going to come eventually. So I wanted to take some photos and document the life, and, have something to hold on to. And then I started to hate the cameras I was using. So next thing you know, I go and I pick up this film camera, and I absolutely fall in love with it. And I start going down this rabbit hole of taking photos and using film as a physical medium. And next thing you know, I just can't stop taking photos. And I've made it to where I am now. To me, the special thing about photography, and it really goes hand in hand with the film, is the fact that you can kind of hold a moment of time in your hands. And with film, like, legitimately, you can touch it, you could hold it. It's a tangible object. Just the fact that you can kind of snapshot that little chunk of time, and you're painting with light. And next thing you know, whether it turns out good or not, you got this image that it may speak to you in a way. And if it doesn't, maybe that's part of it too. But this little rectangle can make you feel a million things, and that's really what it's all about for me.
My favorite part about filmmaking is that the final results and showing it to someone, because everyone will have a different reaction to it. And like, some people might be like, oh, that was really bad. Or some people will be like, that was great. Or my favorite reaction is like, that was hilarious. It's super rewarding being able to work on something with a client. It's cool to be able to see like a concept that you created on paper come to life, and being able to work it with someone is an amazing feeling. I think there is no like dream job. I think every job has their highs and lows. There's days where I'm like, oh my God, I have to pack up like 20 TVs to my van, and I only have an hour to set up this art installation, or sometimes even less.
When did we meet? Like, how did it start? What year was that?
What was it even?
Probably like 2012, 2011.
I was in grade 5, so what was that? 11?
I probably would have been like 2011, so I was like in grade 6 probably.
So yeah, so you were 2011. Let's go with that.
We'll say 2011, just to be safe. Yeah, I think it was there was a the school spirit groups, and
our school did the thing where it's like 4 kids from each grade would
like split up,
and then like, so 4 kids from, like, let's say grade 5, 4 kids from grade 6, and then all the way up to grade 9, and me and Rio were put into
just the same group.
The same group, and then we just bonded over just our love for pop culture, so like mostly video games, and and then Rio would recommend me like video games, and
vice versa,
and
I think we learned that we lived down the street from each other.
So that
we started just walking to school together all the time, and we never had classes together because we were in different grades, I guess.
Yeah.
But you know, just always going to hang out, eating snacks, playing video games.
And then it's super important was that like we would play games online. That was like Rio was my first friend that I did online gaming with.
Yeah, we, you know, even though we didn't live that far, we'd either be playing games together at a house or separate online. And then I think towards the end of at least like our middle school, we had this teacher, super cool guy, Sean Dolinsky, and he was originally doing skate videos. You know, skateboarding videos, and I thought that was super sick because I was big into skateboarding, and when we were growing up, you couldn't avoid skate culture and, you know, being around skateboarding. So to have this teacher who was, you know, filming skate vids and then also has this other second life of being a teacher, he like lived this crazy like filmmaker, videographer life before he got into the world with us, and then he was really inspiring on us and wanted to make movies. I guess is like a collective with the students. So you know, push comes to shove. Next thing you know, we're shooting movies with this guy like every day after school. We're hanging out with him all the time. Not that we weren't before. And like I think he kind of bit the bug with us on the movie thing, and filming and planning stuff out and storyboarding and just kind of like having this project that you can put together and watch with your friends and loved ones, and you can all enjoy it in this experience, laugh together, and it doesn't have to be that serious or that big. But there was a lot of work that went.
And then he also, a quote that I always remember from him was, looking back at these movies we made together, it feels like a digital yearbook where you can just see and hear what you sounded like. Most kids just see like their graduation photo or their school photo, but they don't hear or even hear their voice, how their voice sounded, or like their mannerism, and or even like a huge one is like some kids don't smile in these photos in that era, and you don't see what you looked like back when you had braces.
We've watched back the movies that we've done, you know, a handful of times, and I've watched them myself too. And every time you watch it, it's a different feeling. And you know, every different point in your life when you go back to watch it, it's not necessarily the same movie or video that it used to be. But there's definitely something special there, and again, like a time capsule that you can't really tap into, you know, with a photo or with an actual yearbook. But then also with the two of us, I think we were some of the only people who were actually involved in the movies for multiple years in a row. So they did 3 different trilogies, and I was already graduated, and I kept coming back to be a part of these movies. And then Tommy graduated, and we're both back at the school working with Dolinsky, working on a movie. And then Tommy actually at the very end did his own movie, and that was kind of, I think, like the final, like last hurrah of like kind of doing some stuff with Dolinsky there, but then also like the start of the next chapter. And I think that's kind of where School Days kind of came into and started off.
Dolinsky pitched me this idea of School Days, which was like just Vine after Vine died, which was just a 6-second short film where it would be like, or whatever it could be, or whatever, like just mundane school life, and there would be like start of a joke and then punchline, and that was the whole thing.
Can you buy me some chips?
Looking back at it, I was like, oh, I made my own like longer, my own personal yearbook, digital yearbook of all the people I hung out with, and being able to look back and like, oh my God, I remember this day with blah 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 or whoever I was hanging out with that day. And it was just like, also it was a very important part of my life, because a lot of those videos I made were I just would run up to people and be like, hey, I have this sketch idea. I know you don't know who I am, but I want you to be in this video. And then some of them I became like super close with, and then are still some of my like closest friends.
So I was working at a farm equipment place, and Tommy kind of invited me in once he got the studio upstairs, and he said like, hey, like, do you want to kind of like be a part of this and help me out? And I was actually like, I wanted to, but I didn't know what I could do or how I could help, because I wasn't taking photos then. And I kind of told him like, hey, like, I'd love to, but like, I don't think it's gonna work. Like, the time's not gonna work. So, you know, that was probably a couple years ago, and you know, Tommy went off and just kind of did digital workshop on his own, and with some, you know, other assistants and helpers kind of coming around and pitching in at times, and friends. And then, you know, I think come like just over a year ago, you're out busy working, you know, like crazy. You're kind of doing it solo a little bit. You know, a bunch of the stuff started to go down with my cat, where, you know, my cat passed and all this. So now I'm free. I got all this time. I've been taking photos. Tommy's seen me taking photos online. He's seen me post all this stuff. And he just, you know, the random show one day, like, hey, I'm working this this event called the Purple Drop for Don't Cry Wolf. Do you wanna come out? And I'm like, oh, never heard of any of these things before, but like, sure, you know, why say no? And then, you know, we're kind of shooting the shit in the studio upstairs, and that's where that whole like, yeah, what's your favorite vape flavor? You know, that whole question thing came around, and then we started joking about doing street interviews. So we grabbed the VHS cam, we grabbed the mini mic, and we just kind of hit the town that night and started shooting anything and everything.
It was actually because you asked me, like, what are you shooting? And it was like a recap video. It was
Yeah.
And you were like, is there one of those videos where you just ask random people like odd questions, like, what's your vape flavor?
Yeah.
And then you're like, I was like, no, let's do that. And
no.
that's how I convinced Rio to join it.
What's your favorite vape flavor?
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest, vanilla coconut.
Bro, that's gas. What's your most used emoji?
Probably the heart face.
All right, who you with? I'm here with my squad.
No, you, bitch. What's your name?
I just started taking more and more photos, and then I think we realized like, oh, this is kind of beneficial. Like, no one's actually been, Tommy likes the style of photo that I'm taking, and it fits, I think, the work that he's trying to put out. And then now Tommy's also getting photos of what he's doing, where I think it wasn't really getting documented before. He was just kind of out doing all these stage designs and video work, and you would see the end product, but you wouldn't ever see the process or the behind the scenes or the B-roll, essentially.
Or unless you're like actually at
the
event, you don't. That's the only time you'd ever see it. And Rio was able to like put it on, help me document it to put it on the internet for people who aren't going to these events.
Yeah.
But you should be going to these events.
Should be. I think we actually only worked so good together because we were friends first. And a lot of I think what we're trying to put out there is not coming from a place of a dollar value being the sole reason behind what we are doing. I'd say that we do the things that we want to do because we really want to do them at the end of the day. And
we're not doing it because it's like, oh, I think other people would find it cool. I think most of the time it's like, how do I make something that if what Rio would find cool, or vice versa.
Yeah.
I think that's so important that like we don't do it for other people.
Mm-hmm. And you know, we have a lot of the same interests, and we're often sending things to each other, both creative and funny, and you know, etc. That
sometimes both.
Sometimes both. That we both agree with, and we tend to have a lot of the same tastes on those things.
Usually our process is like, one of us would be like, send something that one of us likes, and then be like, how do you think we should expand on this this concept that someone else made already, or put our own,
execute it,
or make it our own.
Yeah, put our own spin on it. How do we make it digital workshop? How do we make it us? Because at the end of the day, if it's not us, why are we attached to it? Why are we doing it? You know, there's got to be the right reasons behind everything.
Shout out to Jboy.